sis and tell, a whole lot of talk, a whole lot of nothing. Amanda does stand up, Alison's on TV, and when they hop on the phone, you already know it's the place you wanna be. Sis and tell, the podcast that's so sweet. Oh, sis and tell, sis and tell, a whole lot of talk about, a whole lot of nothing. Sis and tell.
Hey, Allie.
Hi, man. How are you?
I'm under attack.
Oh, no. Please don't say it's any sort of creepy crawly.
Oh, it's yes. And, well, yes. And even microscopic creepy crawlies, which both occurred Sunday night. Sunday afternoon, Aaron and Murray participated in a synagogue softball tournament. And
sorry, that's just highly competitive.
Right? We're like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's nothing better than a boost to your athletic confidence than playing Jewish softball.
Right.
Right. And then we sucked. Okay. That's the end all. We were terrible. Murray was good. Aaron, bless his heart. Look, I am not athletically inclined, but I played softball for years and I know how to hold a bat. And poor Aaron took a swing, spun around, fell down. He was like a dreidel. And he landed on none. So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Please rename your synagogue team the Dreidels.
Oh, my God. That would be amazing. So, towards the end...
We're going to need a miracle. We're going to need a miracle.
So everyone put your Google Translate on. Anyway, so it was a doubleheader. Towards the end, there are these storm clouds rolling in, and we were at the JCC. And then, like any good Jewish community center, it's got like an alarm goes off if there's lightning, right?
Really?
And
like
it
at
was
the
like,
golf course? Like it sounds it, so everybody comes inside?
Oh, is that from... Yeah, I've never been on a golf course enough to tell you what happens during a storm.
Yeah, they blow the horn, and everybody has to come in if they see lightning.
It was so jarring. I was like, oh my God, a tornado's coming. And I just grabbed everything and ran to the minivan. And there's like a dust storm, and I'm getting sand in my... I don't know why there was sand in the parking lot. But it was like...
Were you playing on the Live tour, the Live softball tour in Saudi Arabia or somewhere?
I don't know where I was at this point. I was like, what in the Wizard of Oz is happening here? So anyways, during that time, from driving from the softball game to this restaurant we decided to go to for dinner, there's a huge storm happening in Atlanta. And I know trees are coming down, branches are probably coming down. We couldn't even see. It was a torrential downpour, and the wind was crazy. So we had left Milo outside. Milo, our Great Pyrenees, who loves being outside. I literally have to drag him inside at night. And he does not. He has grown to have a fear of thunderstorms because we used to keep this dog who got scared of thunderstorms. And he's like, oh, is this what we do in thunderstorms? We get scared.
I didn't get the memo. I'll do it now.
Okay, now he was never scared. He loved the rain. He would go outside and smell it during thunderstorms. But anyways, so I knew but we left the door unlocked. So he jumped up on the door to let himself in.
Okay.
Meanwhile... And we're getting to the critters.
For those of you who don't know, he's like a velociraptor. He can open up doors left and right.
Yeah,
not even kidding.
He can't close them.
No,
but he can open them.
He can open them.
So Aaron had also left out watermelon on the counter. He had cut open watermelon, left it on the counter. So not only did Milo let himself in, but probably every fruit fly in a 4-mile square radius had let themselves in. It was like we were in the Amazon. We were in the tropics, and there were fruit flies everywhere. So I've been setting up fruit fly traps for the past 4 days. And getting rid of any, if we had bananas, I threw them out, I was just getting rid of everything, even flowers. Because Aaron blamed the flowers. It's the flowers. And I was like, no, it's not. It's the watermelon. So took out the garbage. These fruit flies, and I've been killing them. It is like a fruit fly assassination. I can't get rid of them. But also, we went to sushi that night. Murray woke up 1 a.m. throwing up everywhere. So it's not everywhere. He's luckily old enough to go into the bathroom, into the toilet. Thank God I wasn't cleaning up throw up. But so between everything, all the critters, like the virus critters, the food poisoning critters, I don't know what they were, the fruit flies. I've had enough critters. I'm moving to Chattanooga, Allison. My bag is packed.
I was just gonna say, can you just sell your house? At that point, just sell your
Right.
house and
Burning
start
it
over.
down.
Yeah. Fruit flies are the
Oh.
worst because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And I have like 3 of those little fruit fly things that looks like a mini little apple and you put the syrup in it and it's supposed to attract it.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
I made
gross.
my own. I made
Yeah.
my own with apple cider vinegar, a mason jar, some dish soap, and poked holes in it. And it's doing a good job, but not good enough. I don't know what to do.
I hate critters. Speaking of critters, I am so prone to mosquitoes. Like I
Mm.
will go outside and I will come back and then you don't know that they're biting, but all of a sudden I'm like, I have bites everywhere and they itch like crazy. So finally I went to Ace Hardware. We've already established my favorite store. Went to Ace Hardware and I got everything they had. I got 2 3-packs of citronella candles, which they're very pretty these days. Then I got the family friendly off. Then I know these are old school, but these, what are they called? Buggy beads, buggy beds, buggy something. What is, I
It's
can't
a
even read it.
bracelet. It's
It's
like
a bracelet.
almost looks like a plastic scrunchie.
Yes, it looks like one of those plastic scrunchies. So I bought 2 of those, and the young woman checking me out, I said, "Have you ever used those?" She goes, "Well, we go camping a lot and we use those all the time." I said, "Do they work?" She goes, "I think so." And
No,
I
they
said, "Well,
don't mentally.
that's an enthusiastic endorsement." And she goes, "Well, my little cousins wear them, but to be fair, they wear like 15 at a time because they just think they're cool." And I think they're pretty good. I go, "So are you telling me I have to go buy 13 more of these just to ward away the bugs?" I'm willing to try anything
You should,
because it's so bad.
I mean, really, you definitely should get 4. One for each wrist and one for each
And
foot.
for the ankles.
Yeah, the ankles are the worst. Are they? Do they stretch
Yeah,
enough to put them on your ankles?
I don't know.
I don't know how a bracelet would radiate down to your feet either. Because mosquito bites on your toes, that has got to be the worst. Especially when they get like if you're wearing sandals and they get right underneath like your arch.
It's the
And then,
worst.
oh
Okay, so we're
God,
gonna do this right now. I open it up. I'm smelling it. Ooh, it smells like, I don't know what it smells like, lemony. Okay, definitely fits on my
citronella.
wrist.
You mean?
Oh, it smells like citronella. Okay, I'm gonna try it on my foot.
It's gonna
Here
fit.
we
Yeah.
Oh, it totally fits.
Now put your hair in a ponytail with it.
I might. I would put it. Okay, I'm going to buy 2 more, and then I'm gonna have them on my
Gonna look
wrists and
ridiculous.
ankles, and I'm gonna look ridiculous, but I will be bug free. The other thing I bought, which I'm waiting for it to come in, I think this was a Shark Tank thing. It's that bug bite be gone. Have you seen
Oh,
this? It
it's like
sucks the venom
suction.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it work?
So I'm ready to try that too. I'm willing to try anything that will help me ward off the itchies
Are
because
you
it's
sweaty?
terrible.
Are you real sweaty?
No, I'm not even real sweaty. I think there's
Okay.
just something. I think there's people have certain blood types maybe or something that attracts mosquitoes because even when I was at camp when I was younger, I would get them all over my legs and everything. And it's just, it's terrible. And then it stays on there forever. And then I try not to scratch because I don't want it to scar. But the scratching feels so good. It's so
Ugh,
itchy.
don't do it. Just
I don't know.
stop.
I'm getting itchy now. But
I'm getting
anyway.
itchy. So speaking of bugs, Aaron, we've got this wood pile on the other side of our garage, and Aaron went to go get some wood, and then all of a sudden starts running back towards me, and he's like, "We've got a wasp nest over there," and I was like,
Gosh.
"Uh-oh," and I was like, "Wait a second, did you see a wasp nest?" He goes, "No." I go, "Did they come from under the pile of woods? Of wood?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's yellow jackets." If they're,
Oh,
I go, wasps are not aggressive like that, right? But yellow jackets
I
are.
didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah. And they live, they do have the nests in the ground. So I
Wow.
went onto
You know a
my,
lot about about these species, all
I
these
know,
species.
well,
I'm learning a lot today.
I know this podcast has been sponsored by Orkin. So, so, so I went onto my Facebook page. Not my Facebook page. I went onto the neighborhood Facebook page, and shame on me. I kind of knew this would happen, but I said to them, "Hey, we have a yellow jacket problem. Do you know any exterminators that specialize in getting rid of yellow jacket nests?" And then I put in a caveat that said, "Usually I am a DIYer. I am not going to DIY this,"
Right.
which says to people, don't freaking tell me how to do it myself,
Well, did
right?
you also add, and I've already DIY'd the fruit flies,
Right.
and I tried to DIY the baby bunnies. I'm done with it.
I'm done. And the comments I get are all DIY. Go get this. Go to Home Depot. Go do this. Do it at night. I'm like, no, I don't want to be murdered by
Yeah.
a group of angry yellow jackets.
Yeah, you should put
Right?
in there outsourcing suggestions only.
But I do. This is like so typical of any like Facebook community groups. It happens
Right.
across the board. I don't care what religion, what sex you are, any demographic. People love to give their opinions, even when you say this specific opinion, I don't want it.
Yeah, yeah. All these people should go into PR because the number one rule is don't listen to the question, give the answer that you want.
Right.
So it's annoying when you're on the other side of that. We don't care.
Oh, it's so annoying.
So what'd you do? Are there still yellow jackets?
So Aaron ordered some spray from
Oh my gosh, you did
from,
do
from Amazon, and he wanted to DIY,
No,
right?
you know, the only thing
And I
worse
was
than
like-
DIY, Amanda, the only thing worse than DIY is DIH. Do it himself. Do not let him. Do not let your husband DIH. That's just going down a
It ends
rabbit
up-
hole you cannot get out of.
It ends up being me. It ends up being I'm not doing it. I don't want to be murdered. I don't want to be.
You're not going to be murdered.
What if they come out and attack me? It's like they're like a community, and they're like, leave us alone. We will go while you are sleeping.
I don't think so. I think, instead of going to your community Facebook page, why don't you just start asking AI? Why don't you just ask Chat GPT? Because it will tell you things. It'll tell you everything you need.
But I don't want to DIY it. I just need the yellow pages for
I
my yellow
know.
jackets.
But it will tell you, it will even say, if you say, can you tell me who in my neighborhood, this is my zip code, who should I call? I bet it will tell you.
Probably. It probably will. I'll try.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Chat GPT, I have a confessions to make.
What?
I
Did
may
you
or may
use it
not.
to write the podcast episodes?
No, I may or may not have told mommy how to get on it.
Oh, no.
Well, here's how it started. She calls me to tell me what I love, mommy. I know you're listening to this. What I love about her is when she tells you something, it's as if she invented it, right? She gets
Like
so
what?
vested and enthusiastic about it.
Oh, yeah.
And she was telling me the story about her friend who writes to their grandchildren at camp every day, which now makes sense. I think there must be a covert competitive operation between grandparents on how much they can write their grandchildren campers at camp. Because
That's funny.
mommy's the only one who has written my kids for the past 10 years. I think I stopped writing back in, 2010. But she writes them, I think, every other day. And she's telling me about her other friend who writes her grandkids every day and writes them poems.
Oh,
And then the
Lord.
kid said, we don't want you to write us a poem. We want you to write us like a rap or something, which
What's the difference?
exactly. So they're like, okay. So then she's trying to figure out how to write a rap, but mommy says she went on the AI and she asked them to write a rap of it, and it came out in seconds, and it was amazing. And this is the discussion everybody's having.
You're right.
And
She's
she goes,
like, did you know about
Right.
this?
She goes, it was this AI thing. I go, right, Chat GPT. She goes, oh, that's it. I go, yeah. I go, mommy, you would love it because it's better than Googling. It gives you, it becomes, it learns your questions and who you are, because when you log in, you can add to your question. It's not individual searches. You can refine searches. You can ask it for stuff, and it comes up not in like seconds, like in a second. And she's like, what? So I'm like, yeah. And I saw it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, if mommy it wasn't bad enough, she was the ultimate Googler on earth. She is gonna love this AI. I hope she's gonna be AIing everything.
It's gonna be like her birthday buddy. I went out to a birthday lunch with the Chat GPT, and we had the most lovely conversation.
Well, it's pretty amazing because you can ask it things that I've asked Google things that I didn't get the search or the results I needed. I think also because you're inundated by ads. So you ask it a
Right.
question that you want facts, and then you end up getting promotions.
Right.
ChatGPT is devoid of that, right?
Yeah.
At least
For
for
now.
For
Yeah.
now, there's no ads that are, taking up the real estate on the computer. It's really just it is scary. I know we've talked about this. Like I saw the head of the ChatGPT, the founder of AI, right, talking about it's like sort of Terminator scary, how the computers can take over and they
Mm-hmm.
don't have the empathy or the emotions of human beings or most human beings. So they're trying to figure that out, but it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's also scary is a headline that came across my notifications from CNN saying Madonna is in the ICU.
I think she's already out.
Okay, well, that's good. And look, I know anyone of any age can be in the ICU, but the way they set it up, it made her seem so old.
I know. And what
And
is
it
she
was
like 62? I mean, 65. She's
very close. And there's a Beatles song about this.
64.
She's 64, which brings me to a little game we're going to play, which is how old are they?
Oh no.
Are you ready? Okay, so I'm first, don't guess the ages. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you to put these celebrities in order of oldest to youngest and see if you can get it right.
All right, hold on. Do I need to write this down? Because I'm afraid I'm not going to remember who
It's
you tell
just
me.
3 people.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Okay, I think you can get it.
And I don't have a pen anyway. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay, so randomly saying from oldest to, this is not necessarily
Okay,
in
you're just
any order.
giving me any order, which I'm
Right.
assuming is not the right order. So that gives me one hint. Okay.
Right. Okay. Mr. T,
Okay.
Cyndi Lauper,
Okay.
Kurt Loder.
Oh,
From rank from
gosh.
oldest to youngest.
Wait, Kurt Loder, was he like the from like MTV?
MTV. He was
Yeah,
a VJ.
the VJ.
Yeah.
Oh man, because I heard Downtown Julie Brown on the radio the other day, and I'm like, oh, it's my childhood. All right,
Right.
Kurt Loder. Oh God, that's really throwing me. So Cyndi Lauper, Kurt Loder, and Mr. T.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, now that you've mentioned Mr. T, I've actually seen 2 of the 3 in person. Do you know which 2?
Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper. I mean,
There
that
you
was
go.
pretty easy because
That's pretty
I
easy.
had your Cyndi Lauper concert T-shirt forever,
You did.
and
I was actually asking our listeners and not you. No, just kidding.
all right.
Yes, and then Mr. T in grad school. Okay, so the
you
18.
interviewed Mr. T. We
I
should
had
say.
him on yes, on a fake television, interview show that I produced as part of a class in grad school. I didn't interview him. I hired not hired. I enlisted the support of a journalism major at Northwestern to interview him. All of this to say, let's see, I'm just buying time. So Mr. T on the A team when I was young, probably in the 80s, he was already sort of old. So I'm going to say in this order. Mr. T, Kurt Loder, Cyndi Lauper.
You were incorrect.
Okay. Then I'm going to say Kurt Loder, Kurt Loder, Cyndi Lauper, Mr. T.
You're also wrong again.
Okay. Cyndi Lauper.
This is like Wordle.
No, it is. It doesn't have an O.
Which are you?
Cyndi Lauper, Kurt Loder, Mr. T.
Oh my God! No, you're not.
I don't
Getting
know.
any of
I
these.
can't remember
Okay.
what I've said. Okay,
Right?
just tell
No,
me.
I'll just tell you. Okay, from oldest to youngest, Kurt Loder,
Yeah.
Mr. T, Cyndi
I
Lauper.
feel like I said that at one
You
point.
didn't.
Okay.
You switched up some
I
too.
switched it up.
Okay,
Okay,
so
Kurt
next.
Loder's the oldest.
Okay, how old do you think Kurt Loder is?
I can't even really picture him. I remember him from MTV. I'm going to say he's 76.
That was close. He is 78.
Okay.
I
Great.
still can't believe he's 78. He's
Yeah.
the same age
Same
as
age as
mommy and
daddy.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that so weird? So he's the same age as mom and dad. Can you name a couple other celebrities that he's the same age as?
Oh my gosh. What is it? This is like
I'll just tell you.
Yeah,
I'll
just
just
tell
tell
me.
you. Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito are the same age as Kurt Loder. And
Wow.
that is weird because Kurt Loder never seemed the same age as mom and dad.
You keep saying Kurt Loder as if everybody knows him. I don't think he's as popular as you think he is.
What? He was one of the most well-known MTV VJs.
I got it. But
I
I
think
can't even
so.
picture him. I can't even picture
You
him.
can't?
No,
Okay.
not really. That's
All
okay.
right. Maybe I watched more MTV
I don't know if I
when
could
he was
picture you if
on.
I didn't see you every week. So there's that.
Okay, Mr. T, how old do you think he is?
Oh, him or his gold chains? I
Right.
think gold chains are now vintage. I think Mr. T is 72 years old.
Oh my God, you're really good at this. We're getting close. He's 71.
Okay.
And then Cyndi Lauper,
She's got to be 68.
she's 70.
Oh, she's 70.
Which is to me is still surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, she's on a commercial for something.
Oh, it's for like maybe like
Like a
eczema.
skin something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Her accent is unbelievable. Yeah.
Is it New York? What is that
It's got
accent?
to be something. Yeah, I guess.
It's
You know,
like
Mommy
80s
took
New
me.
York.
I know. She took us to see me and my friends to see Cyndi Lauper on Halloween in whatever it was, 1984. It was so fun.
That
We
is a
dressed up.
fun
It was such a
show.
fun show.
I
She is
just
so talented.
How do you top that?
I
Cyndi
know.
Lauper in the 80s on Halloween. You
Yep.
could there's no way to top that show.
Yeah, it's great. It was
It's
great.
all downhill from there.
All right, so that was a good little game show that nobody cares about any of those people except to say, right? I look at people and I think everybody is my age. I just do. I mean, I don't look at you and think you're my age because I know exactly how old you are, but most people I see, I'm thinking, I mean, it all sort of combines together. I think it's the same, mom and dad did this too. Like my friends are 20 or 30 years older, 20, 30 years younger, or right in the middle, and it doesn't matter, right? If you have something in common, it's fun when you do bring something up and they have no idea what you're talking about. A lot of times I'll make a reference and they'll go, "What?" But besides that, it doesn't make me feel old. It makes me feel knowledgeable.
Well, I think I have body dysmorphia but in like a positive way because everyone just looks really old to me. I'm like, they're my age? What? I don't look like that. I look like I'm 27.
I don't look that old. I know. I wore my tank top today that says vintage 1970 that someone gave me for my birthday. And I'm thinking, I'm going to wear this and everybody's going to be like, there's no way. You were not born in 1970. Nobody said it. Not a single person. Nobody even looked at me. Didn't get one comment. They're probably thinking the opposite. Like, really? I was going to say 62.
Right.
Okay.
No, you look young.
See, we think this and we just keep feeding each other's egos. And I'm fine with that. Just keep it going. Well, one thing I have learned with age is that if I could go back, I think we've talked about this in some sense, but if I could go back and redo my registry for my wedding, it would be totally different. And this is the only reason I know that our next generation, right, my kids' generation is going to be able to make smarter decisions than we are. So Arthur, our oldest, went to his first friend's wedding last weekend.
Oh, yeah. What did they
And
register for? I'm dying to
so
know.
this is the thing. You're going to love this. Only registered for
Gift cards.
experiences.
Oh.
Not even right. But
Gift
basically,
cards.
so they
Right.
basically said we don't need material things. They just both got out. Like he's a pharmacist, she's a finance person. They haven't settled on where they're going to live in their forever house yet. And they said we don't really need stuff, but we do want. They put this on the registry. We do want experiences. So they're going to Hawaii for their honeymoon in December. So you can like give them like a $25 gift card to use for dinners or for a luau or for like the little airplanes that or helicopters that take you different places. And then they registered for travel vouchers, I mean, all this stuff. Like
That's so smart.
just basically they're just like saying it's the same as saying, can you just send us a check? But instead they aligned it with things that they're going to do so you can actually choose, and it's really fun. The only thing that was like a physical thing was they also registered for a suitcase, which I thought was also very
But that's
smart.
part of
Right.
experience.
It's part of the
Yeah.
experience. But experiences, we did this with our kids years ago where we said, nobody needs any more things, but we'll take you places or we'll have experiences or we'll do things together because that's the stuff, the true stuff in quotes I put that you're going to remember and that you're going to cherish. I think that because it's this whole podcast, right? It's anything that the stories we talk about. We're not talking about jewelry. We're not talking about sports equipment. We're not talking about items. We're talking about
Memories.
lived experiences.
Yeah.
That's what creates, I would say, the beautiful tapestry of our life, cobbling all those stories together. So I think they are so smart. If I had to go back, I would register for experiences. And you did that. You did that early on. So you were also ahead of your time with your bridal shower for in New York.
Well, that wasn't even me. That was my friends who came up with that idea. It was Lee Dix and Hillary and Sid. They threw me a bridal shower and called it "It's a To Do." And then everyone gave us things to do in New York, which worked out so nicely because we ended up moving right
Well,
after
you were
we got
living in New York
married.
at the time.
Yeah, we were living in New York and then we ended up moving, but people gave us all these things to do that we had not to done. And and then we got to be tourists in New York, but we did everything from like going to like this really nice sushi restaurant, thank you mommy, to like taking a cooking class. I literally still have this folder with all the things, all the recipes that we learned in the cooking class.
That's awesome.
It was like springtime soups and crackers and stuff like that. And it was still to this day, I make
Yeah.
those soups. They're the best soups ever. It was so much fun.
Right. And I think we all assumed, I think, that you guys would be in New York for at least a year or two. And so these were experiences that were supposed to spread out for over, probably 12 to 24 months. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're moving in 6 months. And so that was I just remember you're like, every weekend we have something to do because of that shower.
It was so fun.
That's so fun. That's so
Yeah.
fun. But that's the same thing when somebody moves to town now. Instead of like bringing them things, which I do love a good like welcome to Chattanooga gift basket that has Chattanooga stuff in it because that's fun. But even more than that, I love to give, especially a new family, and you can do this in any city, is, like a membership, a 1-year membership to the Children's Museum or to
Yes.
some cool, or to the zoo or to something that introduces them to something that you think is really important part of the city that was important for you or your family, or things, like, here, try this out for a year. And this is an experience for you and your kids, or an experience for you and your significant other. To me, that's really fun
Well,
to
we
give
had
somebody something like that.
our kids are all teenagers now, and we hadn't had a zoo membership in forever. And on our anniversary, we're like, let's go to the zoo. So we bought a family membership. And Aaron and I have gone a bunch of times, and it's so fun because if you want to go and just walk around for 30 minutes, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Right? Because you're just and my favorite time to go is when it's overcast, because people don't want to take their kids. They don't want to take their toddlers to the zoo in case it rains. And we'll just go and we spend like most of our time staring at the orangutans and talking to, they have like these zoo educators who are positioned in certain places, and we will just talk their ears off. And it is, and they love talking. So it is like having a personal tour guide in the zoo, and they know everything, and they know all the animals' names and how long they've been there and the history. And they know the answers to the most random questions because I ask the most random questions. So it is that I love doing local things. I think, when you get bored, it's fun to think, well, what did we do 10 years ago when we had kids to take around to these places? And I'm always up for that. I'm trying to figure out what to do for my birthday. It's coming up, right?
Oh,
I'm like,
well,
maybe we'll go bowling. Like I love
bowling
doing.
is so
I
fun.
love bowling, and that's one of the few sports that the more you drink, the better you get.
Well, back to the zoo. My mother-in-law, of blessed memory, her favorite thing to do with all the grandkids was to take them to the zoo, at the Chattanooga Zoo. And back then, there was a chimpanzee named Hank, and everybody knew Hank. He was legendary. And he was, yeah, I mean, he lived into his 20s, I believe. And he knew her. And because she was there so much, and so she would tap on. It's like
I
you see these
believe it.
videos now,
Yeah.
right? She would tap on the window, and it was this huge enclosure for all these chimps. She'd go, Hank, Hank. And I mean, the kids thought like Mimi had superpowers because Hank knows me. And
She's
sure
like Dr.
enough,
Doolittle.
exactly. Sure enough, anytime she was there and she'd put her hand up, he would come right over and he'd sit and look. And it was, I mean, that's all our kids want to do. I want Mimi to take me to the zoo to see Hank. They thought Hank was her best friend, which I think maybe he was, because I would go and I just thought, well, you tap on the glass, he comes. No, never came to me. Never once came to me. But if my mother-in-law was there,
He knew
that Hank, he
Amelia.
was there. Yes, she was there all the time. Well,
That's
see, it's
adorable.
a great memory. I'm telling you, lived
Aw,
experiences. That's what's important. All right,
yeah.
back to your birthday. So
Yes.
bowling, I'm going to say maybe. I feel like we can do better. Like
Really?
I'm thinking something in between bowling and the gas station safari that you stumbled upon.
Oh, I'd like to do the gas station safari. That's what I want to do.
You want to go back there?
Yeah, I love animals. I love animals, but I don't want to do like the experiences where you pay $400 to go feed a leaf to a
Right.
tortoise, like which they have. I don't know, that gas station safari. That is too bad. It's like 3 hours away in Metter,
Yeah.
Georgia, but there's got to be a more local one, like the one we went to for Mimi's 80th birthday or 85th birthday, whichever one that was. Which
Yeah.
birthday was that? Was that her
Oh
85th?
gosh, yeah. Our grandmother Mimi, yes.
Yeah.
Also of blessed memory. Where was that? Yes.
That
That's
was
when that-
nearby.
that's when I thought one of the boys had Lyme disease. We had just gone to there, and remember, you could feed the animals like in the car. It was literally like a domestic safari. You roll down the
It
windows and
it was like a domestic Jurassic Park.
yeah. where they're all like deer, like all these animals, deers and things like, not deer, but like, I can't remember,
There were
cattle. What were there?
really
What was
basic
it?
animals. There were
Yes.
like cattle, but like longhorns with like giant
Right.
tongues. And then there was like a giraffe, and then there'd be like a camel, and then there'd be an alpaca. They were aggressive too. They would stick, and we were in a special safari van with no windows,
Yeah.
and they would stick their faces or their tongues in and try and get stuff. At one point, Murray threw his sippy cup
Yes.
out of the van, and we had to stop and get out. It was like Jurassic Park, because we're like hoping none of the animals would come stampeding towards us, and we had to save the sippy cup and save the animals from getting to the sippy cup.
Right, and dying by plastic sippy cup. So,
Right.
so we came home, and about a day later, Arthur had this crazy rash on his arm, and of course, I Google it, and it had like a circle. I was like,
Oh.
he's got Lyme disease. So of course, I'm texting the picture to Alan's, one of his best friends from high school, who actually was our dermatologist, and he's like, Allison, it's not Lyme disease. He goes, it's the middle, whatever it was, like whatever time of year it was. He goes, it's cold, whatever. It's not like you've been around. He said something like, it's not like you've been in some park where you've been around all of these animals that have it. I go, but I haven't. I did a cow safari for my grandmother's birthday. And so then he's like, well, and it turns out it was eczema. And you know what saved him? We saw a Cyndi Lauper commercial, and he got healed.
Full circle, Cindy. Thanks for
Full
saving our
circle.
Thanks for saving our health and our paranoia. Well, thanks for listening to the latest Sis and Tell podcast. Don't forget to share us with your friends, share us with your family, share us with your foes.
As always, this has been Amanda and Allison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.